doing pop-ups at me. The YouTube is, everything is. All right, let's make sure we share out the live. My device does not like it if I plug it in and go live. And now it thinks that that is I want me to look how dark I am right now because I went and touched the screen and it changed. I wonder if I come off and come back on. I don't know how to make it see me again. I hate TikTok anymore. Like, I just hate it. It's because I'm backlit and now it's pretending like I have no light. I have a ring light on me. I'm feeling frustrated today. All right, let's get our song going as everybody starts joining. You guys, welcome in to Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. I am gonna play my little theme song for you, and we'll get things going here, you know? That is not my theme song. Here we go. What?
Hello, Crystal.
Hey!
It's a brand new day and she's back again. Get yourself a beverage, let's get settled in. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
You guys tap that screen and share out the live.
Our favorite heathens gathered in one place. All our questions answered, our favorite creators on display. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, hey.
Hey, Bridge, how are you? Good morning, user. Welcome back, Nick. I saw you pop in earlier. Hello, Skeptic. How are you?
Been good.
Doing very well. Let me turn you up a little bit so I can hear you better. Now listen, I don't know if you've seen my show before or not. It's okay if you haven't. But here's how the show works. I'm going to start by asking you 10 icebreaker questions. And then we're going to invite people to come up from the audience to ask you questions. And they can ask in the chat too, but it's not a debate. It's to get to know you, to learn about who you are and what your streaming is about, and, you know, just to get to know you better. Hey, how are you, Pure Havoc? How are you? And then, No Degree is crashing out in me's live right now. He's always crashing out. And then at the end of the show, we're going to play a little game called Divine or Decline, and people will come up and join you and play along, okay?
All right,
Sound good? All right. So let's find the icebreaker questions. Where did I put them? All right. And is it okay if I call you Skeptic? Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. All right, you guys, thank you. As you join, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Please help get me up to 100 shares as quickly as possible. I don't know what my gift goal is. Let me put a way lower gift goal. I do that one for when I'm, you know, live conversating with Christians. But let me give you guys something a little bit more palpable. We'll just do some ice cream cones. Let's do 666 one coin ice cream cones, okay? All right, here we go. So you're a carpenter. I did learn that about you. So if your workshop tools could talk, which one would complain the most about you?
Probably my work trucks.
Oh, yeah, yeah. My husband was a carpenter before I met him. He's a mechanical engineer now. But yeah, I can see that because his brother is still a contractor. And we put our truck through some stuff too. Would you rather accidentally glue your hand to a project or nail your shoe to the floor?
Well, the shoe is replaceable. Skin's not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I don't think I would really like. Also, if I glue my hand, like I know you can get glue off and stuff, but I might have ruined the plans, and then I either have to print them up again, or I have to, draw them up again, or what have you. But when you hear the word skeptic, what's the first silly or funny image that pops into your mind?
Silly? I don't know. I got to think about that one. I have no idea.
Do you know who Mac Luster is on the app?
No.
Oh, hey Fred, welcome in. Good to see you. Mac Luster is another guy on. Anyway, he's a skeptic, and he's kind of silly. So actually, whenever I hear the word skeptic, I always think of Mac Luster personally, but.
Yeah, well,
I don't know why either. There's a lot of us.
There's one guy that I do watch sometimes, the Cosmic Skeptic.
Oh yeah. If you had to design a throne, what kind of things would you put in the design?
I would make it very Skeletor-like.
Ooh, I love that. My son used to love
that's
Skeletor.
always been, I would love to have a Skeletor throne.
That would be really cool. It's good to see you too, Brad. Welcome in. By the way, you guys, I'm asking the Resurrected Skeptic some questions right now. When I get done, it's going to be your turn to ask the questions, so you can come on up, or you can ask your questions in chat. I know that sometimes people are shy, or they don't have the right mic, or what have you. So I just want you to know that I will read them out to them if you are kind of shy. Let me go see who we have over on the YouTube today. Hey, you guys, we got 2 people over on YouTube right now. Not a lot, but hey, it is what it is. All right, let's see. I've had so much problems with my YouTube because I really need a new computer. The way I do it is I shoot TikTok here, and then I stream with OBS to YouTube. And for some reason, OBS screws up the YouTube every time on me, and I end up having to upload the video to my channel anyway. So I need a new computer because I think I want to stream to more places, and I want to use Streamlabs or somebody else instead of OBS. On YouTube, it is I am CrystalJae, Jae, all one word. I am CrystalJae. Okay. All right,
and by the way, I did start a YouTube channel for the Resurrected Skeptic. It's only got 6 subscribers right now, but yeah, if anybody wants to go over there and check it out, I would love that.
Is it the same name, the Resurrected Skeptic?
Yeah, same exact thing.
All right, you guys, if you're over on YouTube right now, or if you've got a minute, go subscribe to both of us. I am CrystalJae and the Resurrected Skeptic. It's actually free to subscribe on YouTube, so just go subscribe. Help us build our subscriber base over there, if you don't mind. What's a smell that instantly takes you back to your childhood?
Oh my gosh, my dad's aftershave.
That's so fun. Okay, wait. What was your dad's aftershave?
Old Spice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Old Spice reminds me of my brother, but my grandpa used to use Aqua Velva, and nobody really uses that anymore. But if I ever see a bottle somewhere, I always have to smell it just so I can, remember what my grandpa used to smell like. I love Aqua Velva. Hello, Stormy. Thank you, Bridge, for subscribing. Oh, Brett, thank you for subscribing to both of us. We really appreciate you guys. Would you rather always have sawdust in your pockets or glitter in your beard?
Well, I usually go home with a lot of sawdust.
Do you?
I mean, lots and lots. Actually, I track it inside all the time.
I remember when there used to be, well, there is one place I think Five Guys still, you throw peanut shells on the floor, right? But I remember bars that used to have sawdust on the floor back in the day, you know, where you would do line dancing and stuff, and they would have sawdust all over the floor. Really great way as an employee to never have to clean up after. Well, the floor's already a mess. We have sawdust all over it. I don't need to sweep today.
Yeah, if you ever go to Texas Roadhouse, you know, they got peanuts everywhere.
They do? Yeah, and I think Five Guys does too, don't they? Or do you just eat them there? Do they throw them on the floor there too? I can't remember.
I've never been to one. Yeah. I mean, I've seen them, but I've never been to one.
Don't go. Don't go, okay? Because here is what Five Guys is about. Even if you think it's a great hamburger, okay? Even if you go, okay, this is a really good hamburger, it is not worth, it's like $20 or something. It's so ridiculously expensive. I could not believe, I was like, what on earth? Like, this is a decent hamburger, but for the price, get out of here. It's not worth it.
So are they a pretty good size though?
I think they're just the same size as like anybody else's burger. Like, I didn't find anything special about them. I was actually a little disappointed, not to say the least. I was like, no. See, they are too small, right, Brent? I was like, what am I paying for here? I don't understand. They weren't that special. Hey, twin, how are you? Yeah, it was wild to me. I know that some people are like, oh, Five Guys all the way, they're the best burgers ever. But for the price, are they? Like, are they really? Because I'd rather grill up a few. Because for the amount you're paying, let's go get some real good beef, and I'll throw them on the barbecue, and we'll just make them at home, okay? Like, yeah, there you go. Way. Yeah. If you had to pick one conspiracy theory to be true for just one day, which one would it be and why?
I think, well, I mean, I've always been fascinated with Antarctica, you know, ever since I was a child. I mean, I've read so many books about Antarctica, but, you know, like this conspiracy theory about there being aliens or some type of government job going on in Antarctica. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty interesting.
That would be really cool. That would be very cool. I used to live in Lake Tahoe, so my favorite conspiracy theory is Tahoe Tess. She is basically a sea monster who supposedly lives in Lake Tahoe. And if she just could pop up for one day, that would be really cool. Because the theories are, like, I don't believe it, okay? Because I lived up there and never saw Tahoe Tess. But the theories are that, like, maybe there is some kind of deep water, like, if you could picture, like, how a tortoise lives for, like, over 100 and some years and stuff, they are saying, like, maybe this one could live for hundreds of years, and that's why she still lives down there and stuff, you know. It would be kind of cool if that was true. I think it is, but it would be fun. What's a small, ordinary thing that gives you an outsized amount of joy?
A small, ordinary thing that gives me a small amount of joy?
No, just an over amount of joy. It might seem small to somebody else, but it always just really brings you joy.
I mean, honestly, you know how Facebook gives you reminders of your children?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love that because, I mean, I get them all the time, you know, and you know, I got a 21-year-old and 19 and a 17 and a 14 and a 13. And when I get those baby pictures, man, it like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it makes me almost cry. It makes me almost cry.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, that happens to me too. Mine are even older. Okay, mine are late 20s and 30s. And, I read one that I posted back, like, when they were in high school or something, that I said, you know, I know all the moms get excited when vacation break is over and they get to send their kids back to school and stuff. But I was never like that. It always made me sad that they were had to go back to school. I was like, aw. And so I was like, do any other moms feel this way? And it was really nice because there was a lot of other moms that were like, yeah, I get sad when they go back to school too. Because I was like, I would hear all my friends going, oh my God, so glad Easter break is over, or spring break or whatever, or so glad summer break is over. They'll be back in school. And I would think, oh, I'm going to miss mine because that's what I do all day is hang out with my kids. So if your life was a board game, what would the instructions on the box say?
Let me think. If my life was a board game, honestly, I don't know. I gotta think hard about that one. You know, I mean, I have no idea.
Let's see, if my life, yeah, my board game would probably be Cards Against Humanity too, Jay, they. So, yeah, whatever those rules are, but mine would say, like, please don't eat the cards, because anybody playing a game based on my life is probably the type of person that would eat crayons and paste and cards, so. But,
well, I mean, I guess
yes.
like chutes and ladders, because I've done construction my whole life.
Oh yeah. All right, you guys. This is my last question for Skeptic. So if you want to come up and ask a question, go ahead and put your request in the box. If not, I have more questions for him, but it's your turn. Okay, so you guys feel free to request on up. Would you rather spend a week with no internet or a week with no tools?
I mean, I would absolutely enjoy a week with no internet, to be honest. You know, and about once a year, like we actually do that. We'll go to Florida, and like with no, like we have our phones, but we leave the phones at the house.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, you guys, it is your turn to come up and ask Skeptic some questions. Hey, Ravens, how are you? If you are in the chat and you want to ask a question, please put it in all caps. You will not be muted in my chat for doing that. Same with YouTube, just in case people start chatting over there. It's hard for me to see sometimes when people start chatting really fast. So you and I have not, like we met briefly the other night, finally. I would pop in and watch you sometimes and stuff, but and you would invite me up, and unfortunately, like I said, like at night, it's hard for me because hubby's asleep and I don't want to keep him awake by yapping. So I'm usually live during the day. Every once in a while, I'll jump up on a live while he's asleep. He does sleep sound sometimes, but tell me a little bit about your history. Were you a Christian? Were you raised in Christianity?
Yeah, my family is a Southern Baptist. And I mean, up to the age of 16, you know, I mean, I would go to church and stuff like that. But as I got older, I was never comfortable with it. And I didn't like hugging strangers and shaking hands with strangers. And I enjoyed the community. I mean, you know, and like pretty much all my family went to the same church. But I mean, as I got older, I just felt like I never fit in. And my entire family is still Christian. But I mean, I'm the only one that walked away. And at the age of 16, I told my parents that I was an atheist and I no longer believed in God. And my dad absolutely lost his mind.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. I mean, in so many words, he literally put me in a headlock.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. I at least didn't do that to my son when he told me, because my son came and told me at about 18 or 19 that he no longer believed. said a lot of stupid shit. I'll admit that, but I didn't do anything like that. I'm sorry that happened.
No, it's okay.
Do you have a better relationship now? Has he grown accustomed?
I'm 46 now, but until when I had my first child at 23, my daughter is 21 now. When I had her, like my dad, he lives in Texas and I live in Kentucky, and he flew in from Texas and he was there, and we had we went out to eat afterwards, and we had a big talk, and he told me he was sorry that he understands that I'm an adult and I can live my life, and he said that he wishes I would come back to God, but he understands if I don't.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that he came out for the birth of your daughter and stuff. I think that sadly there's a lot of Christians who just disown their family if they no longer believe, and I think that that's all too common. And so that's why I asked, like, are you guys better now? Because some, like, they just don't return from that,
Well, to be honest, like my mother, refuses to have any contact with me still, I haven't talked to my mom in about 20 years.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible. I don't talk to most of my family, but it's not really because of this, but I don't think that this would just be icing on the cake for them. They would be like, see, here's another reason why we don't talk to her, but I just have never really, I didn't grow up with most of my family, and then they didn't really ever seem interested in getting to know me once, we were older. So never really connected with any of my family.
So, Crystal, what about you? Are you an atheist or agnostic?
I am. I'm an atheist with an I. I don't know if you know what that is. Some people do, some people don't. But for those who don't know, it's I don't really believe that we can define what a God is, let alone if there is a God. So, like, until there's a clear definition, I don't even see a point in believing in one. It literally could just be anything, It could be a creator.
That's pretty much where I stand. I'm just not convinced. I'm just not convinced. It's not like I'm in complete denial. I'm just not convinced.
Right. Yeah. So
it's possible, but it has to be possible for the Hindus that have over 1 million gods, and then it has to be possible for everybody else too,
Right. I do not believe at all that the Bible God is possible. He contradicts himself too much. He's very contradictory in his nature, but also the Bible contradicts itself. There's inaccuracies, there's anachronisms. There's too many issues with the Bible for that to be actually a real thing. And no, I don't believe there was some dude who walked on water, or made water into wine. I don't believe that happened. Hey, Nancy.
I think it's possible that there could have been a charismatic person named Yeshua that was teaching, and people were drawn to him. But I don't think he was a god. I just think when he passed away, the people that followed him probably didn't expect that, and it shocked them. And they had almost like an Elvis moment. How like today, how everybody, like you'll see in magazines and on the internet, people still think that they see Elvis walking the street.
Yes,
so that's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah. They think Elvis, James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, Michael Jackson, Tupac, there's sightings of pretty much everybody. But yeah, for sure. So, hang on 1 second. Sorry. My husband and my daughter chatting in the hallway, and it kind of echoes through through the house.
That's all right.
Hey, Douglas, the okay, how are you? Hey, Alexander, welcome in. Good to see you. So, I know your name is the Resurrected Skeptic. Are you actually into skepticism, the philosophy of skepticism?
Yeah. I mean, I call myself an atheist, but I mean, I reserve the right to define it in any way I want, you know, and I don't think it needs to be static. So yeah, I mean, I'm overall a skeptic, but I'm not a obnoxiously skeptic. You know, I feel like I'm reasonable, you know.
Yeah, for sure. What drew you in first? Like, what was the thing when you were 16 that made you start going, this just is not adding up? I just don't think that this is real. Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, almost my whole childhood, we would have to wake up around 3 in the morning, and we were forced to read the Bible, and we had to do like weekly tests on the Bible at the house.
Wow.
Like we had Bibles in the middle of the kitchen table, and we had Bibles everywhere in the house. And it was just, you know, and as I got older, I just started noticing all the inconsistencies and all the problems. And then, you know, and I remember when the internet like popped up with AOL and all that. And so I started like, and we had our computer in like a real big like closet. Like it was like a huge closet. And I would spend hours in there, you know, and I would just be looking up stuff. And it was just blowing my mind, like all the problems that were in the Bible and how it has strong connections to the Mesopotamian pantheon and the Sumeria and the Egyptian pantheon, all that stuff. And so when I started seeing all that and I started connecting all the dots, I was like, this has got to be fake.
You're so loud when you come down that hall. It's very loud. Yeah, I think that my son went, well, I didn't make him do the reading and stuff. Like, we did do a lot of weird stuff, though. I was a weird Christian mom. I was 100% a weird early 2000s Christian mom. There were days, I mean, I didn't force my son to do this, just preferencing that, okay? That we would get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and go for a walk and then like just like talk and pray, you know, or whatever, you know, doing our devotions together as we walked or whatever. But when he was about 18, he had gone off to college, and my fear was he would go off to college and become an atheist. So I didn't want him to go to Berkeley, okay? Like, we're not going to some we're not going to some liberal school out in California. I'm from California, by the way. We were living in the Midwest at the time, and I was like, even though I was from California, I was like, you're not going out there. Go to MIT.
I used to live in San Diego.
Did you? Okay, I live not far from San Diego. I said, listen, go to MIT. And in my head, I was like, MIT is just going to be full of nerds. Who's going to have time to be talking about religion and stuff, right? Like, nobody's going to get to his mind if he's just all on studying stuff. So he did. He went to MIT, and then he came back an atheist. So my plan was foiled, darn it. Oh, that's so cool, Bridge. So yeah, he came back and he told me, and he waited. I've told this story before. It was Thanksgiving, and we were at his aunt and uncle's house, and the room was crowded, but it's that kind of crowded where you could sit right next to somebody and the two of you can have a conversation and nobody else can hear what you're saying because they're all yapping too. You know, so he turned to me. You're near Berkeley. That's so funny, Jay. He turned to me and he was like, you know, like, I don't believe anymore. And I was like, I think I asked him to be clear though. I think I probably initiated the conversation, like, have you found a church or something, you know, like something a mom would say, you know. And then he told me, but he told me knowing I couldn't react right then. I was in a room full of people and there could be no, like, and that I wouldn't. He knew I wouldn't in that moment. I wouldn't ruin Thanksgiving for everybody over whatever I felt. So he felt very safe to tell me that right in that moment of time, because he knew I wouldn't do anything right then, you know. But then later, I just cried. And I was just like, oh my God. And then it dawned on me, hey, wait a minute. So you think I talked to an imaginary friend? And then that started like, that was definitely one of the catalysts to my deconstruction, was realizing my son thinks I talk to my imaginary friend and I don't know if I can handle that, you know? And so I said, what about like all the times that I've come to you and I've told you that God gave me a word to give to you through the Holy Spirit? All of this just sounds so dumb now, but at the time I really believed it, right? And he goes, Mom, I just think that it was you. I think you're really smart and you gave credit to God for the things you were telling me, that you were smart enough to know. And I was like I had to sit with that for a while. Like, wait, so like that was always me? Like what, you know? And so it did affect me. Yes, that affected me, having him come. But I cried. I worried about him going to hell, but I didn't get mad at him, because I don't think that, even at that time, I think I understood that you can't make yourself believe something. You either do or you don't, you know. And I believed in Jesus, and I can't make him believe in Jesus, right? Like, and I think I understood that already, which I think a lot of Christians don't get that. They don't get that we're not going, hey, I don't want to believe this. We just don't. We don't have a choice. We're just not convinced, you know? So, so that's kind of how it went with us. But how did it go for you with the rest of your friends and stuff? Did that hurt did you have a lot of friends wrapped up in the church?
No, I mean, almost like every one of my friends are, I mean, even the couple that do believe, I mean, we still hang out. But honestly, most of my friends are either just not religious or atheist.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, because I mean, I grew up with a lot of people that I went to church with, and you know, the funny thing is most of them became atheists.
Oh, really? That's good. Most of my friends were Christians, because like I made my whole personality about the church and about Jesus. Oh, I was not. I am exactly the type of person that I can't stand. Like that, when the Christians come up and go, well, I'll pray for you. That would have been me. I'll pray for you. Do you see parallels between building something with wood and then rebuilding your worldview?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because we do a lot of custom work, you know, and it's like specialty stuff. It's not really like your typical like framing a house, that kind of stuff. We get a lot of special jobs. Most of our jobs are we build a lot of columns. You know what columns are for houses?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know like how that became a thing for us, but it did. And for some reason, we get a lot of jobs in Mississippi, and it's kind of a pain in the ass because we gotta drive so far. But I mean, I would say more than 50% of our jobs are in Mississippi.
When I used to do wedding photography and event videography in Kansas, And brides up in Nebraska found out about me. And we charged, and this was back in the early 2000s, okay? And we charged back then at least $400 for traveling expenses because we would have to stay the night. So there's, gas, food, our time, and like a hotel or motel, right? So that was just the traveling expenses. The minimum for us to show up to shoot a wedding was $1,000. So we're talking minimum for us to show up to Nebraska was $1,400. And they kept doing it. And I'm like, why don't you guys have videographers and photographers up there? I was a decent photographer. I was a really good videographer though. That we were really good at. But I was like, there's got to be some good ones up here in Nebraska, somewhere in Omaha for sure, I hated
most of our stuff, we pre-build it at the shop, and then we'll just then we'll send it up there, and usually we'll have a couple of our foremans will drive it up there, and they'll take a couple of hands with them, and they'll build the structure like at the site.
That's really cool. Have you always been a carpenter?
No, but I started out doing like masonry work and roofing, but
gotcha.
like my father was always really good at carpentry. Like we would go out on like junk day, he would find broken chairs and broken couches and stuff, and he would spend the whole weekend in the garage, like fixing them and selling them.
Oh, that's so smart. I was a reseller for a long time, although I didn't like to fix and repair. So I did a similar thing, but I didn't do the fixing and repairing very much. However, my husband's a mechanical engineer, so every once in a while I would ask him, like, look at this thing, it's going to be worth this amount of money, but it's broken. Can you fix it? And he would be like, yeah, I can fix it. So then I would get it. But otherwise, I was just like, I'm in it to flip it quickly, I didn't want to have to do a lot of repair or home, improvements to something. What's the hardest part about deconstruction that people don't often talk about? Thank you, Tahir. You guys, the guest box is open.
I would think it's the community and your family, because a lot of people don't walk away. They'll just stay a Christian or whatever, and just because, they don't want to lose their family and they don't want to lose their friends. And a lot of times it is the community, they love their church, they love the pastor, and you don't want to let those people down. But it has to come to a point where you have to live your life your way too.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's an organization. It's called the Clergy Project. You ever heard of it?
Yes, I have heard of that before.
Yeah, it's for pastors, reverends, priests that are doubting and wanting to walk away, but they don't want to lose their livelihood. They don't want to lose their houses and their retirement, all that stuff. But they no longer believe. And it would blow your mind how many pastors and priests are still working in churches that no longer believe.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, I guess I never even thought about that before. Like, I think about how there's Christians sitting in the pews who aren't really Christians anymore. They're just there because their wife or husband or mom or dad or somebody, is, and they don't want to, rock the boat. So they just go and pretend on Sundays and go to church. But I never thought about how there's actually pastors, and yet we meet them in the community a lot where they seem deconstructed. Like they'll admit that they don't even believe anything in the Bible, but they're still a pastor.
Well, for a lot of these people, they have a house. They've been doing it for 20, 30 years. What are you going to do after that? This is all you know. What are you going to go work at a warehouse? And this is all you know how to do. And your children, their college education is riding on this, and so a lot of them just stay, and they just put up with it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, because I think the clergy project has somewhere around 80,000 members so far.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and all those people are still working in churches.
And I think that they also help people, like, I don't know how much, like, what, when I say help, I don't know what that entails. Just in case you guys go to the website, I don't know what it entails. I haven't been myself. But I do remember somebody saying they help people, like, who, you don't have to have just been a pastor or a priest or something. You could be a Sunday school teacher or a youth group leader or somebody, but they do help people get out of their religion. And at least get help.
There is a lot of resources. There's a lot of resources for clergy that are just stuck, and they no longer believe that. I mean, you have to think about that. That has to be miserable.
It has to be. That would be so horrible. I couldn't do it myself. I can't even face some of my old Christian friends because I don't want to have a conversation with them about Jesus, okay? Because I will say, oh yeah, I don't believe in that anymore because I'm not a liar. I can't, there's certain things I just cannot lie about. It will never happen for me. So I couldn't every day go to work and pretend to be a Christian still. And I know there's music directors and so forth too that totally don't believe, but they're the music directors at the churches and stuff. That's just wild.
Yeah, there's actually a church down the street, and I know two of the guys that play guitar for the band at the church, and they're both atheists.
That's wild.
but they're getting paid, so I mean they just
yeah.
I mean, but when they're at the church, they wear crucifixes, just because they don't want to let them know that they're atheists.
That is so weird, huh? That now that you say that, it makes me think that the guy who was on our music team when I went to church, he was probably an atheist. I tell this story too. I went to a church that was at the high school because I thought, oh, that's cool. Let's go there. Like, because I was trying to find like a non-denominational church. Okay. So we decided to start going to the church. It was just one of the worst decisions I made, but anyway, it probably helped in my deconstruction, to tell you the truth. I was on the sound team, so we had to do sound checks and everything, before the Sunday service, and we always did, like a practice run on Saturday nights. So Saturday nights was practice. Sunday morning, you get there early if you're on the worship team, and we do your sound checks before the service starts. This one guy never came for Saturday nights, only showed up on Sunday, and was never there for sound check. And he got paid $300 a week to show up for like a 1 hour. We don't even have a church. Are you kidding me? Why is this man paid $300 a week? So after I found out that's how much he got paid, I asked to see the church books because they had always said, like, if anybody ever wants to see the church books, they're completely open. Anybody can take a look at them. We're not hiding anything. And I said, yeah, I'd like to see the church books. And they were like, what? Nobody had ever taken them up on that before. And then they met us at like a pizza place, and I don't even know if we ever saw the whole books. What we did do was we left that church because what are you doing paying somebody $300 a week? And the reason was, and a lot of pastors who have these shitty little churches or do churches in high schools and stuff, they think like this. My pastor thought, well, the rapture is coming, so we shouldn't invest in a building. At least that's what he told everybody.
It was 2 weeks ago, though.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, but I was going to say that those two guys that I know, the atheists that play guitar at the church up the street, they're making and they only do it on Sundays, and they're making $175 just to play guitar on Sunday.
Okay, and this was back 20 years ago or so, and this guy was making $300 a week to only show up on Sunday. Isn't that an insane amount of money to make to show up on Sunday and only play for the hour of church that we're there or whatever? It was ridiculous. Because I don't even...
For an hour.
Honey, don't.
Poor song.
I love you, but don't. He's all, not even an hour. 4 songs.
Who is that?
Yeah, it was horrible. That's my husband, Doug. Everybody knows.
Hello, Doug. How are you doing?
Doug, they said hi. I don't know if you can see his hand, but he's waving. Sometimes you'll see him walk behind me. Doug is the real main character here. He really is.
Well, here, let me ask you though: is Doug an atheist or a non-believer?
I think he's more like a deist. Like that's somebody who just believes like there could have been a creator, but maybe that creator can't really do anything else. Like it's like that's all. Like, you know, like he doesn't believe in any all-powerful being or anything like that. Nothing like that.
Interesting.
Yes, praise Doug, you guys. And he's the rock, he said. Okay, what kind of conversations do you like to have on your live stream?
I mean, it's virtually almost all religious, but I'll let everybody know that I'm only here for dialogue. I'm not here for an argument. I don't want to win the conversation. I just want to talk. It's almost like we're sitting at my kitchen table, drinking a cup of coffee and just talking about, you know, just talking about religion. And if some, I mean, a lot of times, kind of like last night when you were in there, I mean, a lot of conversations get off topic, but that's usually when I have friends in my panel.
Yeah, it's true. That happens with me too. Yeah, I do conversations with Christians, and I am trying to not have it be debates, but unfortunately, sometimes it just turns into that. And no matter what I do, darn it, the last time I was doing really good, we were having really good conversations, and right at the end, and I had quite the panel of atheists at that moment. And the Christian, well, the gentleman asked him like, hey, do you really want to learn? And the guy said yes. And he goes, okay, check out this book. And I put him on the big screen so he could show him. And then he started talking about the book. And while the man is talking about the book that he just asked, are you actually interested in learning about this? You know, the guy started to pray in a whisper prayer over his, and I go, wait, are you praying? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, why? And then everybody started ripping into it. And I was like, wait, I didn't want my life to turn into this, but dude, that is so rude. Like, why would you pray without consent? But also, why would you do it while that man is talking to you after you said that you were willing to listen and learn from him? Like, he asked you before he started talking, and then you went and did that. And he said, I can pray and listen to. And I said, I don't think God wants you to do that. Like, if your God was real, do you think that he would want your ear over here while you're praying over here? I don't think that's what he would want. I don't think that's holy or good, you know. And I said, but I also just think people should not pray over people without consent, because we don't all worship the same God or worship a God. And I really believe that Christians would be highly offended if we prayed like to Molech or somebody for them. And I asked him, I go,
you know, something that always gets me is when a Christian asks me, do I have morals? And I'll tell them I don't have religious morals, but I do understand what they're talking about. And I'll tell them that I believe that that my morals are subjective. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? And then I'll tell them, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, I have choices, but it's all subjective. I mean, I don't agree with murder and unaliving and raping and all that kind of stuff, but you know, it doesn't mean that my neighbor doesn't like that kind of stuff. I don't have to like it, but I mean, if they like doing that, that's on them. But I mean, if they do it, then they're going to have to face the consequences. And but
yeah,
you know, and then Christians will be like, well, how can you have understanding of morals and know you don't know God? I'm like, I don't think that even makes any sense. I mean,
I know.
I can have morals.
And on top of it, like I've tried to explain this to him before. Every time I try to explain this to him, though, it goes like right over the head. I'll tell them I can show you right now that you don't have objective morals, and they'll tell me, no, I do. And I'm like, so your objective morals come from the Bible, right? Like this is where you get your objective morals from God. And they're like, yeah, but he doesn't have to tell us everything that's right or wrong in there. Then how do you know? How do you know? Like if it's not all written down, because what's not written down in this book is consent, but they will all agree with me before I show them that it's not in there, that grape is always wrong. Well, it's not in here. It's not always wrong in here. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, for something to be objectively wrong, like the entire population of the world would have to agree. If one person doesn't agree, then it makes it subjective.
Exactly. Thank you guys for the ice cream cones.
I don't think the world agrees on anything 100%.
I don't think so either. I don't think two Christians agree on anything. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. I remember like 2 weeks ago, I had 4 Christians on my panel, and all 4 of them were arguing over whose Christianity was more correct.
Yes, I've told them before too, if I get 2 of them on a panel, I don't have to do any talking. They will argue with each other and debate it out. Like, I could just sit back and watch because they're not going to agree. They can go to the same church and they won't agree. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. What's the hardest part of deconstruction that people don't often talk about at all? Because we've talked about how hard it is without community, and I think a lot of us talk about that. But are there things like, like for me, I know that I felt a lot of grief when I deconstructed. I don't know if you did. You were pretty young, and you had come to terms with it. But for me, it was more of like, oh, fuck, this is all a lie, and I have done it for 40 years at this point. I had dragged my kids into this, and I was like, wow. So I had a lot of grief afterwards, grieving my community, grieving the loss of Jesus, grieving eternal life,
I mean, I still think about like I told you, my mother. I haven't seen her in over 20 years, and so I mean, I battle with that, and I mean, I've caught myself like thinking of a memory and crying about it, and because I'm a guy, right? I mean, mama's boy, so I do miss my mom, but I mean, I can't help but not be convinced. I mean, I can't just make myself be convinced just because I want to see my mom, but but my wife and I have talked several times, and she said that it's her loss.
Thank you, Reclaim.
She said, I mean, you're a 46-year-old man. You have nothing to prove to anybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm confident in my lack of belief. I mean, I'm willing to believe it as long as you can give me tangible evidence. I mean, but circumstantial evidence, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, prove to me that any God exists. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, just one. Just one of them.
Right, just any one, like just one. With the thousands upon thousands, none of them have, shown any sign that. And that's what I tell the Christians too. Like one of the number one reasons for me, I think, for not believing, is the basic fact that throughout history, throughout our entire existence, anytime we had a question and we really search for the answer is always a natural thing. It's always natural. It's just a natural consequence. It's a natural reaction. It's natural. Never have we searched for an answer and found the supernatural. That's never been the case. We never said, oh, why is the ocean blue? And then we found out it was magic. You know, that didn't happen. You know, or you know, why are the clouds like this? Never came back that, oh, it's magic because it's just cotton candy in the sky. Didn't happen. We found out that it was water, it was condensation, you know, and in our atmosphere, and you know, we find out that there's always a natural reason why these things happen, why they exist, or you know, why they react the way they do. So just because I don't have all the answers now doesn't mean that it's a God. I still think we're going to find natural answers to everything along the way. It's always been
well,
that
yeah.
way.
I mean, essentially, that's where we get the God of the gaps. Every time
Yeah.
there was something unexplainable, or there was a gap, I mean, somebody down the road placed a God into it. So, I mean, and it's not illogical. They just didn't know how to explain the world around them.
Exactly. And you guys, if you have a question for Skeptic, you can come up, or you can ask your question in the chat, or over on YouTube, you can ask the question in chat. Just put it all in caps for me so that I can read it. When did you first realize you wanted to go public and talk about deconstruction, or talk about religion, talk about things like this?
Well, I started this channel on TikTok back in June, and then I started my YouTube about a month ago. But I mean, I've been on YouTube for a while, but I do other stuff. It's more like me and my family, that kind of stuff, and it has nothing to do with deconstruction, you know. And so, I mean, I have talked about it, but I mean, I keep it separate just because, you know, I don't want my kids and that kind of stuff connected. You know, I want them, you know, because they have their faces on there and that kind of stuff. But, you know, and it's more fun, you know. And I got about almost 6,000 subscribers on my other channel on YouTube.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
I mean,
good.
you know, I've been doing that one for about a little over a year now.
I used to, like I said, I used to be a reseller, so all my content was about reselling. So I have 10,000 something followers over on Instagram that I just left high and dry. Like I just never went back to Instagram. Poor followers. But yeah, I just also did not want to kind of like mix what I was doing. And I didn't feel like rebuilding on Instagram, to be honest with you. I was like, I don't feel like doing that. I came over to TikTok, and when I first joined TikTok, I just joined to screw around on here. I didn't even know people did this stuff, but somehow I found the deconstruction community. I found Joyful, Skits and Bits, and Deconstruction Zone Justin, and started hanging out with that crew, and started becoming friends with everybody. And then Benny started the Deconstruction Junction Discord server. By the way, if you guys want to join the Deconstruction Deconstruction Junction Discord server, the link is in my bio. We are getting close to 5,000 members in there, and it's an amazing community. If you are looking for a place to connect with people, resources, find creators, just hang out and chat when people are live, that's the place to be. Tahir says, what is the biggest lesson learned since leaving religion?
That it's okay to be me, and it's okay to not fit in, you know. And for a long time, you know, like especially, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s during the Satanic Panic and all that, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, anybody who didn't believe in God was condemned to hell immediately. And, you know, and so, I mean, like people who came out and spoke against Christianity, like before the 2000s, were literally chastised, you know. And so I was scared. I was scared to say anything for a long time, just because, I mean, I never believed it. But I just stayed believing it because it's my family. You know, and I did like the community and stuff, but at the age of, I was going to say, I remember at 15, we were sitting at the kitchen table, and every night before dinner, we would have to give thanks to something, to God, right? And
Yeah,
I remember,
we did.
and I remember, and they would pass the Bible around the table, and when you were holding the Bible, then that's when you gave, then that's what you get when you gave thanks. And so they gave me the Bible, and it was my turn. And in my head, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to tell them I'm atheist right now, but I'm going to say something. And I thought long and hard about it. I was looking at my dad and my mom and my sisters. I was like, this is not going to go good. So
Oh
I
no.
stood up, and I stood up, and I put that Bible down, and I said, I'll be thankful for the day when I don't have to read this damn thing. My dad,
Oh
like,
my
no,
God.
like, no. I mean, my dad, like, the whole room got hot. Like, my dad stood up and smacked me right in the mouth.
Oh my God. My dad probably would have done that too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And we weren't.
I was at the point where I was like, I was just done with the church. But I was a kid, and I didn't have a choice. I had to go, and I didn't want to go anymore. I was tired of reading the Bible every single day. And I was just like, I was tired of doing the weekly test at the house. I'm like, I just want to go out and play with my friends. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. My parents were not like that. We did have to go to church every Sunday. My mother was, on every freaking committee that there was. We were Methodists, by the way. Methodists is the laziest Christians there are. They are so lukewarm, they're all going to hell. Okay. They don't do any of the, standing up, waving your hands in the air. They don't do any Holy Spirit stuff. There's no talking in tongues. There's none of that. And when it's time for communion, they bring it to you. You don't even have to get up and go down front or anything. So when you get baptized, it's just a little spritz on your head. There's no real water involved. It's like you're barely damp when you get done. So it wasn't very strict, but the thing was I had abandonment issues. So I was pretty scared like that God would abandon me in some way. So I put a lot of extra religion on top of myself. So I started going to all the youth group and all the youth prayer meetings and Bible study. Anything that would involve the youth, I had to be involved in because I needed to be the perfect Christian so God would not abandon me like my original parents had. So my parents weren't quite like that. We had to say our prayer before dinner. We had to, say prayers before bed and, things like that. But there was no forced Bible reading or anything like that. I did that to myself instead, which didn't make it better. It didn't make it better. Do you get...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was always that rebel. And like my dad always said that I was the difficult child. Because, I just started resisting going to church. And I just didn't like it. I didn't mind going and eating the food. I didn't mind going and and I just told him, it was like, I'll go, but can I just go and sit in the back room and like read books or something? This is before we had phones, and all that, and so, but he would force me to sit in the pew, and I was like, it's the same thing all the time, man. I just, it's just boring. I would fall asleep, and like my dad would tap me in the back of the head, wake me up, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, I used to always fall asleep on my mom in church. She didn't care though. She just let me sleep on her. But I was little. So I don't know if I did that when I was older. I remember I was always friends with the preacher's kids. Our family was always friends with the preacher's kids. So I often sat with the preacher's kids and stuff like that and hung out with them. But yeah, I think I put most of the Bible studying and, going to youth group and trying to be like a little Christian leader and stuff. I did that to myself. Hi, Evil. How are you? You guys, if you have questions for the Resurrected Skeptic, just put your questions in chat. Try to put them in all caps for me, though, because it makes it easier for me to see them, and I'll read them out to them. So do you guys ever get in debates? Does it ever get a little heated, a little spicy over on your live?
Yeah, sometimes it does, and I don't like kicking people off. That's kind of something I don't like to do because I think it's tacky. But some people just don't deserve space.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes you gotta do it to protect your life.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Have you ever experienced people coming on your lives and just saying like the N word like 10 times in a row?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's horrible.
Yes. It is horrible. They do it all the time. They do it to Thinker and Volsey and Bars too, and it's just disgusting. The last time I was live, we did conversations with Christians, and one of my first guests just came up to tell me what a fucking fat cow I was, and he just kept going on and on and on. And it dawned on me that I thought, this guy's like doesn't even have his face for his profile picture. So I go, oh my God, you're projecting because you're fat too, aren't you? I go, cam up, let's see what you look like. And he would not do that. I'm like, that's because you're fat. So you're sitting here calling me fat when you're over there being a fat fuck incel in your mother's basement. And then we kicked him.
Shit.
But yeah, like they come up and just say the most horrific things they could think of to try. I think they think we're gonna cry, I guess. I don't know, but I'm like, dude, I am almost 60 years old. If you think that putting me down for the way I look is gonna hurt me at this age, women are attacked or picked up about the way they look from the time they're like 3. Are you kidding me? We're so used to it by this age, we don't give a shit anymore, okay? We might have cared when we were younger.
Honestly, that is pretty awful, because I have 2 daughters. And, and women go through a lot. Like, from when you're a teenager and then upwards, it's all, boys are awful. And the pressure to always look cute and impress and to look your best and like wear makeup and you have your hair perfect. Boys just get dressed and go out the house. But for girls, it's not that way. And it's awful. And I hate the way men treat women. I really do. And I'm a real big advocate for that. Like one of my daughters has been bullied several times and like by boys and that kind of stuff. And my 17-year-old daughter, she's type 1 diabetic and she hates it when I talk about it on my lives, but she's been picked on about it so many times. She's gained weight over the years and it really breaks my heart how people treat her and talk about her, for her first 2 years, because she was diagnosed when she was 7. And for the first 2 years, people would tell her that she has a disease and that, stay away from me because I don't want to catch it. And it's horrible. And
it is horrible.
I can't stand it, but for females, it's just harder. I think for boys can almost put up with it because boys are kind of aggressive, but females remember to say women
or girls. Don't call us females, okay? Because then you take away our human.
Women
That's okay.
Girls
women or girls. Yeah, because we put up with it. And by the way, it does start when we're really young, and people don't realize that because even as little toddlers, I shit you not, people comment about what you were in. My daughter was in like one of those little beauty contests when they're little. It was a baby beauty contest. They're all babies. They were all under 3, okay? And they said to me, if you would have had makeup on her and had her hair done, she probably would have won it all. And I was like, if I have to put makeup and have professional hair done on a 3-year-old, I don't want to do this anymore. So we stopped doing that. I was like, what am I doing? No, we're not doing that with a 3-year-old. I thought it would just be like a little fun little baby contest and get some free pictures of my baby at the end or whatever. No, ma'am. And they'll say things like, oh, like, I don't let my little girls wear a two-piece. She's 3. What the? Like, why do you care that a 3-year-old is wearing a two-piece? What are you talking about? Who would be looking at her some weird way? What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, so it does start really young. But they never say anything like to the little boy, like, I wouldn't let my little boy wear trunks like that. They don't do that. They just say it about the little girls, you know? And they'll tell girls from the time they're little till the day we die, you know, you would be so much prettier if you would just smile more. It's like, you never tell a guy to smile. Did you walk up to any man today and tell them that they should smile? They would look better looking if they would smile. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. Evil had a question, and he probably, Evil wasn't in here earlier, so sometimes you have to repeat answers for people. But question was, what was the final straw for you to leave the church?
Final straw. Well, when I was 18, you know, and my father was really thinking I was going to keep going, and I told my dad when I was 17, I said, on my 18th birthday, I'm no longer going to go. I said, you know, I'll support you because I love you, but I just don't want to go anymore. I mean, but on holidays, I mean, I'm not going to lie. On holidays, if I'm with my family, you know, I will go for Christmas just because it makes them happy.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's nice.
you know, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's not all about me. You know, it's all about bringing the family together and everybody, you know, doing something that feels good and so I mean, but they all know that I'm an atheist, and so when I go there, they don't make a big deal out of it. They don't make me hug people, and you know, I will shake hands, but I just don't want to hug anybody, and you know, but I do it for my family.
That's nice. I really like that. That's really nice. I don't go to church anymore even for Christmas, but I do kind of think that, but I do celebrate Christmas still, and I don't give a fuck if that offends Christians, because, because the fact of the matter is, if the whole world woke up tomorrow and realized, oh my God, this was all fake, what are we doing? Hey, Robin, then if they all woke up tomorrow and did that, we would still celebrate Christmas. We would just go, remember this holiday we used to celebrate? And we'd still do it. Because it is a time where we all get together. It's a good family time for everybody and stuff. I will say, though, that our family, for many years now, has been pretty big on Thanksgiving. And I don't call it that anymore because my friend Earth Sanctuary has taught me to call it Harvest. So, because I'm not thanking God, right? He didn't do anything. It's not Thanksgiving anymore. And Thanksgiving was, you know, something that we kind of lie about to kids about how it went down the first Thanksgiving. We don't really tell the whole truth. So I celebrate the fall harvest with my family, and we have like some fun. We have this fun little tradition. When the kids were little in the early 2000s and late 90s, early 2000s, that's Thanksgiving was when all of the consoles would come out. Like if there was a new Nintendo console, it would come out Black Friday, right? And so we always bought those. We are a video game family. See, can you see Super Mario?
Well, you know, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was going to say, like, is that a hoodie or a sweater?
It's just a t-shirt, just a t-shirt.
Okay, yeah, because I bought my wife the hoodie, the same thing.
Oh, that's cool. So my husband couldn't take it, though. He couldn't wait until Christmas. So he would open it up while the kids were asleep and play late at night and stuff. Finally, I told him, why don't we just start giving it to it for Thanksgiving? And then they would have the whole, you know, season to play with it and everything. So Thanksgiving weekend every year, we started just giving each other video games and like our favorite video games or consoles, whatever. So that's what we do for our Thanksgiving. Yes, yes, we are the best parents ever.
I mean, but hell, I mean, like when I'm with family, you know, obviously they all pray at the table, and I mean, I'll put my hands together, but everybody's eyes are closed, so they have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, but I do it just to make them happy, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You just beat NES Legend of Zelda second quest day. Oh, awesome. So were you ever in debate or anything like that? Did you go to college? First of all, I didn't go to college, so this is not to judge anybody. I'm just wondering, like, did you go to college? Did you do debate or anything in high school or college?
Yeah, in high school, all 4 years, I was in debate class, and I
You
mean,
were?
and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and so I mean, I've always wanted to do this professionally, and I never knew TikTok was like this because I had my kids always had it, and I had YouTube and stuff, and but I never had TikTok until like May of this year, and and um, and I remember joining it on May and signing up and so I saw somebody debating. It was Justin on Deconstruction Zone,
Yeah.
and I've seen him on YouTube, but I didn't think about it being on TikTok. And I remember being on TikTok and I saw it, and I remember him telling somebody because somebody asked him about how do you start debating, and he told him how to do it, and I was like, what? My eyes got so big, you know, and I signed up like really fast. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this because I mean I love debating and I love talking about religion.
That's cool. Did you ever get into philosophy? And are you really good at the philosophical arguments and the science arguments? Are you really good at those?
No, kind of like what's his name, Doctor Blitz. He's really good at that kind of stuff, you know. But I mean, I'm not that educated on it. I mean, I just like talking about where I come from and I'm just not convinced, and that's pretty much where I start. Is I'm not convinced, you know, and so I'll let the person tell me where they're coming from, and then we have a conversation.
When I was growing up, like I said, again, my parents weren't the strict ones with me. I was just kind of strict with myself. Um, I did because I went by what my like my youth pastors told me. So like anything they told me, that's what I did or did not do. Like they were my leaders, and I listened to everything they said. Thank you, Lilith. So they were like, don't talk to people from other religions. Like, and when you're really young, you don't know why they might be telling you not to do that. You don't think, oh, they're telling me to do this, to not do this because they don't want me to question them, you know. I didn't understand that, right? So I didn't look into any other religions, and then I didn't, you know, like do any of my due diligence. I didn't learn about philosophy because I thought that was really bad too, because the youth group leaders were like, no, don't get into philosophy or anything like that. And then eventually that would lead me to Ken Ham. Do you know who Ken Ham is?
Oh yeah, Ken Ham. Yeah, the guy that opened the Ark in Kentucky.
Yes. So eventually as an adult, I started listening to everything he said. Now, because of that, I
Have you
got
seen
very
that yet?
confused.
I mean, have you been to Kentucky to see
No,
it?
no,
Well,
I don't.
I've been
don't
in
want to
there.
go.
I've been in
You
there.
have?
But
Oh
you
my
want to hear a
God.
funny story though?
Yes.
Okay. The first year, like right after he opened it, you know, it was the first year they just opened it, and I think like a month or two or 6 months after they opened it, um, uh, Ken Ham sued the state of Kentucky because they had flood damage. No, I mean it was so ironic. It was on every single news channel. He was
That's
literally
so
like the
funny.
laughing stock. I mean, of the state.
That is hilarious. I
I mean,
always
like,
think of
how
Cam
are you going to
Ham too,
build? I mean, how are
Lilith.
you going to build Noah's Ark and then sue the state of Kentucky for flood damage?
That's an act of God, sir. We can't help you. That's what the insurance company's going to say.
I mean, when I saw it on the news, I mean, I was laughing so hard. I was like, what the hell?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, so he would make me very confused, obviously, about what I believed about science versus what he was telling me, right? And it started me down this very confused area of my walk where I was like, but I believe in evolution, but I'm supposed to believe the Bible too, right? And those two don't seem to coincide, you know? So he said something that at the time I thought strengthened my walk with Jesus, but it would become the downfall to my to my Christianity. He said that Genesis is the foundation of the Christian belief. And if Genesis isn't real, why believe anything in the whole Bible? So as a Christian, I was like, that's true. I believe Genesis. Da, 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 da. But then as I started to deconstruct, I was like, nothing in Genesis is even true. So if nothing in Genesis is true, why believe any of it? Just like Ken Ham said.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like Genesis falls apart. You know, Genesis falls apart when in the creation story, when God puts the sun before the plants.
Yet it falls apart in so many places. It's
I'm sorry.
And it makes me,
the plants before the sun. The plants before the sun.
I knew what you meant. The plants before the sun.
And to God, one day is 1,000 years. So were the plants on the earth for 1,000 years before the sun? They need photosynthesis. How in the hell was there plants for 1,000 years before the sun was here? That makes no sense. So,
see, that's an amazing point. If nothing,
right there.
Yeah. It's true, Robin. If nothing in Genesis is true, why believe any of it? He said that, and then when I was deconstructing, I was like, he's right. Why should I believe any of it? Genesis falls apart in so many places too. It's just over and over and over again as you read it. Like, and when I think of some of just the stupid things that I believed in this book, sometimes I cringe. I could be all alone at midnight and go, oh my God, I believed that. And I will cringe and I'm alone. Nobody can even see me or knows that I'm thinking it. But to think that I used to believe that millions of people wander around in a desert for 40 years because they couldn't, and literally, like, if you lined them up, they'd already be almost across the desert. There were so many people, you know? Like, why did I believe that? Why did I believe a talking snake? Why did I believe a talking donkey? Why did I believe all these silly stories, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, you know, and there's so many inconsistencies, you know, and, you know, like the 40-year thing, right? Noah's Ark, 40 days, 40 nights. The desert, 40 years. And then, but the number 40 pops up in the Bible 158 times. And so why does nobody connect that? How can 40 years and 40 days and 40 everything? How does that even make any sense? How can it be that consistent?
And they even said a generation was supposed to be 40 years was a generation too. Yeah, so everything was 40.
You know, that right there, I mean, shows you that these people had no idea what was going on. They were just trying to explain the world around them, you know.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, there's just so many weird things that make absolutely no sense. But if you believe in this God, like, I mean, you have to understand this God is evil. He's not good. I mean, but he's also not here for everybody. You know, El Elyon gave Yahweh Israel. You know, that's why Israel ends with El, because it comes from El. And he gave Israel to Yahweh. And then Jesus in Matthew says, I'm only here for the lost sheep of Israel. They're not here for anybody else. They're only here for themselves. You know, for Israel, for the Jewish people.
Lilith says the authors were drinking 40s. Yes. See, it's funny too because it wasn't until after I had already stopped believing, left the church, before I ever even learned that like Yahweh was given his portion and that he was one of 70, children, and that his God was his dad was El Elyon and Ashura, what? I never heard any of this. It was so wild. And so when people showed me that it was like in the Bible, I was like blown away. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not in the Bible. And they were like, yeah, it's right here. And they would show me.
Well, the crazy thing is, how can Yahweh be the Most High if his Father created him?
Right. And he's not the Most High. El Elyon is, so. Yeah, well, it's crazy.
Yeah, technically El is, but then you have to go, Ptah is the Egyptian Most High God. And
that's true.
And he's around 3000 BC, which is around the same time period. And then you have Anu, which is around 3100 BC, which is 100 years older than Ptah, and they're all around the same time period. So who's older? It depends on where you live, on
True.
Who's older.
True. And then,
so is Ptah older? Is Ptah older? Is Anu older, or is El Elyon older? I don't know. But then you have to battle with the Aborigines. The Aborigines are the oldest still living community of people on the earth. They've been around for 65,000 years.
Wow.
And so their gods are even older. And there's American Indian tribes. I can't remember the name of the one, but there's some American Indian tribes that are dated 9,000 years old.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the way that Christianity just came in and destroyed anything to do with these gods is so disturbing to me. The artwork, the literature, the libraries, so that we can't even study them the way we should be able to better understand the history of all the religions. Yes, thank you, Tahir. Tap the screens, y'all. You guys, the guest box is open. If you want to come up and ask the Resurrected Skeptic a question, come on up. The guest box is open. Also, you can ask over on YouTube. You just put it all in caps over there, okay? Oh, hey, Design, how are you? It's good to see you over there.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit too. Are you familiar with the righteous sufferer?
No, I'm not.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm going through my notes.
The suffering servant in Isaiah?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull up my notes.
Sure. You guys keep tapping the screen. If you can, I've been live for about an hour and a half now. Can we get me up to like 40,000 likes as quickly as possible? Also, I have a gift gold. They're only 1 coin each. Hey, Esme. And the guest box is open. Do you want to come up and ask a question? The guest box is open. Anybody can come up. Did Doug just video? Yeah, Doug walks behind me sometimes, so you'll see him. Sometimes he's just in his swim trunks, and I'm like, babe, you might want to put on a shirt before walking behind me, because
I have a shirt on.
He has a shirt on right now, but yes, he walks behind me.
Yeah, but yeah, so what I was going to bring up are the righteous sufferer, the suffering servant in Isaiah, right? That actually comes from a very ancient story. It's a Mesopotamian story. And it was called Lud Lul Bel Nemeki. And it stands for I will praise the Lord of wisdom. This is from Mesopotamia. And it's the poem of the righteous sufferer. Yeah, and it was written in Akkadian, and it was written on approximately around 4 tablets. And it was around the 7th century BC was when this was written. Okay, the historical character inside of Lud Lul Bel Nemeki It was Shubshi Meshri Shaka. And yeah, this is an ancient story from Mesopotamia. I bring it up all the time. But yeah, it's called Ludlul Bel Namaki. I'll type it in your chat. That way you guys can see it and you can look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to screenshot it.
Here, give me 1 second. I'll type it in.
Okay. You guys, thanks for all the tapping and the shares and the gifts and the likes. You guys are amazing. The same flood myth is the Epic of Gilgamesh. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you see it right there?
Yeah.
Little Bel Namaki. Yeah. And that's where we get the story from. And a lot of these stories in the Bible come from Mesopotamia, come from the Sumerian pantheons. But a lot of people don't know this stuff.
Yeah, you're not taught that in church. You're not taught that, I did not know that about the Epic of Gilgamesh. And once I joined this community, everybody said it like it should be common reading for every human being, right? So of course I did go and read it, but it really bothered me that I didn't even know it existed. There were so many things that I didn't know because of my indoctrination, and because those youth group leaders really made sure to tell me, like, don't search for, don't go anywhere else to find answers. Just look for your answers here. Come to us if you have a question. And they would give me apologetics, right? And so I would always fall for them.
Esme Granny Weathermax, you know her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she's one of my friends. And yeah, she's bringing up something that I was about to bring up. Do you know where sin came from?
The word sin, I thought just meant missing the mark on, like, in archery.
Well, it came from Mesopotamia, okay? And it was one of their gods. Have you ever heard of Nana? Okay, well, they had a god named Nana. His name was also sin. But here, I'm going to tell you, it's an Akkadian word, also known as Nana Sin in Sumerian. It is a Mesopotamian god representing the moon, early dynastic period. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sometimes put together, Nana Sin, also pronounced Dilim Babar. Sin was also closely related to cattle herding. Also, some evidence shows that he serves as a judge of the dead in the underworld, sometimes regarded as a god of equal status in the Mesopotamian pantheon to Enlil and Anu. This is where the information gets interesting. Sin was a Sumerian fertility god. And this is where it's going to make a connection with the Bible. He removed pregnancy pain. So does that make a connection? Because in the Bible, when they eat the apple, that's when sin is introduced, and that's when women are introduced with pregnancy pain. But in the Sumerian pantheon,
the problem is that with the Bible, it actually says something that has always kind of bothered me. I don't know about other women if you've noticed this, but it says your pregnancy pain will be increased. So it makes it implies that there always was pain, but now it's just going to be worse than it was.
Well, yeah, but in the Sumerian pantheon, sin removed pregnancy pain.
Wow.
So, but they stole this idea because he was a god, but they stole the idea, they turned it into an action, like something that was your fault, and then they made him give you pregnancy pain. So that
you're right, it's birthing pain. You're right, Esme. I'm pretty sure it's birthing. Like most of us, some people go through a lot.
Well, yeah, birthing pain, yeah.
Yeah.
But Nana Sin was a divinity god that understood where man was going, judge of the underworld. Nana Sin was responsible for illuminating the night sky. Does that make any connection with Lucifer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, And Nana Sin was a protector of the cosmic order. Yeah, so I mean, they took this idea. And, you know, Christianity takes a lot of things from other religions. Like, even when it comes to Adam, you know, Atum comes from the Egyptian pantheon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Eve comes from Greece. You know, so they took everything from everybody else and made it their own.
Absolutely. You know, I think that it was a very common thing to do back then, though, too. Like, I mean, they literally would go into other cities and sit and they would have these contests where who could be the best storyteller. And so a lot of these stories were told over and over and over again, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, verbally, and then they would, you know, take them and make them their own. AK, thank you for coming up. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you today?
Doing well. Listen, while I'm live, I wanted to bring you up so we can tell people real quick about your GoFundMe, about what's going on and what you need help with. Do you mind sharing that real quick with everybody?
Oh, no, not at all. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Hey, how's it going,
No
AK?
problem. I hope you don't mind, Skeptic,
Hi,
but
Skeptic.
she's got something we need to help her with, and I want to help her whenever I'm live to give her like kind of a little space to share.
Oh no, no, you're good. You know, I actually know her pretty well.
I love
Oh, good.
Yeah. So what happened is starting October 1st, Trump signed a deal to where any medications that are manufactured and made out of the country have 100% increased tariff. And so for people like me, the medication that I get is called Hizentra, and it's made from people who donate blood, and it's made in Switzerland. And so that medication already costs $15,000 for one syringe a week. And that's our cost. And then our copay, so what he also did is he got rid of all of the copay plans. Not like all of them, but a lot of them have gone away now because of this tariff. And so I used to have a no copay, and my insurance would pick that up. But now I'll have to pay over $1,000 a month. That's just for the Hizentra, for the copay. And then I take another medication called Xolair because of my severe allergies. I'm deathly allergic to dogs. That medication is about $17,000 to $20,000 currently per injection, and I need 2. And the copay for that has gone up to $750 per one. And then I did have 2 failed patellar knee reconstructions in the past year, so I have to fly out of state. And the copay for us to fly out of state and get a 3rd knee surgery is $900. So I have a GoFundMe set up, but we're trucking through. Hopefully there is some good news on the light of it. I did, the Supreme Court sided with me in my disability case and kicked it back to the judge. And I got a different judge who was a lot nicer. So hopefully in the next 60 days, we should hear if I am gonna get disability. We don't know how long that'll last for because of all of the things that are being cut. But
yeah. So listen, your GoFundMe is in your bio, but do you also have your other payment options in your bio too? If you can, even if it's a few bucks, okay, you guys do it in the other payment things if you can, okay, because then nobody takes a cut. All right, but if not, AK does have a GoFundMe. It is in her bio. You know, if you can. I know times are tough for everybody, so please only give if you can afford. But, you know, we got to help each other out. We got to take care of each other. That's the only way we're going to make it through these tough times. So when you can, please help AK out. That's a lot of money. That is nearly, you know, $2,000 a month just in those, plus having to go do knee surgery, plus, you know, having to recoup. And then you're going to have physical therapy and everything. And there's just a lot. There's just a lot. And we need to help, you know, if we can. So that's why I asked AK to come up, because we love her.
Hey, hey, AK. So when is that supposed to take effect?
October 1st.
Oh my God. Yeah, so like my daughter's medications for her insulin and stuff, it'll probably go up too, won't it?
Yep. Yep. Especially if it's manufactured. So what they're trying to do is if a company is not going to manufacture a medication in the United States, they're going to implement 100% tariff on it. And so that's why they're trying to make it to where, but we don't have the capability to manufacture like other places like China, or because China is one of the biggest ones, or even in Europe, we don't have the capability to do this. And so my
Yeah, I
Can
mean
you
Venmo,
it's
drop your
absolutely crazy.
yeah,
We
drop your
need
Venmo in
these
the
other
chat.
countries.
Yeah.
I mean, like we need these other countries. I mean, we can't make everything here. These other
yeah,
countries are good at stuff, and we need to utilize that.
there's a lot of doctors
That's right.
who practice in America, but they also practice in other countries. And I'm not gonna lie, because Alaska is lacking in care. But I've had doctors who they're traveling doctors from other countries, and they just talk about how atrocious the medical system is in America. And the one lady flat out told me, she's like, I don't want to be rude to you. She's like, but honestly, the only way that you'll get the care that you need is if you leave the country. And
Lilith, AK isn't really like a discordy person. Like that's not something she really does very much. Is it, if you have a link, can you like friend request AK and DM her with that? Because that would be easier for her. Hey, Dr. Joe, welcome in. Thank you for all the populars. I appreciate it. Super populars. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think I
AK.
sent her the update
I don't
list.
know if you know
Okay.
this, but my wife's been sick for over a year, and we've been in and out of the hospital. We can't figure out what's going on with her. We've seen a doctor for every organ of her body, and we still can't figure out what's going on. Like
what's like
she usually only works like 2 days a week. I mean, but that's really all she can handle. She
if you
throws up
don't
every
mind me
day.
asking, like, could you give me a couple symptoms? Because I might, because you'd be surprised how a lot of patients figure out that they have different things is when they start talking, because there's a lot of illnesses that have the same, they mimic. There's autoimmune diseases that mimic other illnesses. And so they'll treat that one illness. For example, they tried to tell me I had RA for years, because I have inflammation markers. Well, my body is constantly inflamed because of different autoimmune diseases, but they were trying to treat me for RA. I mean, of course, that's not going to work. So if you want to message me, I could maybe, and like, let me know. I could also, give a couple suggestions just in testing, because that's the one thing is I've found out more about my illnesses through with other patients who experience what I go through. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I can
not
kind
every
of give you a
disease
little
is
bit,
cookie cutter.
because I talk about it sometimes, but yeah, I mean, she throws up literally every day. She can't keep
Same.
any food down.
Same.
She's always pale white, like really, really white. She's
Is,
lost tons of weight.
is
Um,
she bendy? Like, is she really flexible?
Kind of, but she has bad knees though.
So I would have her see. A lot of times it's an allergist slash immunologist, but I would have her see an immunologist, because one thing that I figured out, because I vomit constantly, like I go through periods of it some days, like I have to, I get like the medication that they give for cancer patients, like the scopolamine patch behind your ear for anti-nausea. That might be something for her to look into. But what happens is like, for me, I have a disease called Ehlers-Danlos, and a lot of people think, oh, you're just really, really flexible. No, it actually affects every connective tissue and joint in your body. So think about your ears. You have little connective tissues in your ears. It affects those. For me, I have what's called gastroparesis, where my stomach doesn't drain properly. And so I'll just like, if I eat too late or too heavy, sometimes I'll just vomit for days on end. They have no idea why. And it's because of the Ehlers-Danlos, and there's a low function going on in my stomach. So also, like, if she hasn't seen a gastroenterologist, I would have her see an immunologist first, because there's so many of them that they overlap. There's so many of them, and it's such a journey to find the actual
Well, yeah, I mean,
diagnosis.
we've literally been to a doctor for every organ of her body, and and
Wow.
nobody can figure out what's going on.
I
Every
bet she
doctor
has
is like blown away.
I bet she has, so it's like called Grand Mars or something, but there's this massive nerve. I'm going to DM it to you, but there's this nerve that goes in your stomach, and sometimes it can overreact for some reason and cause people to vomit uncontrollably. My best friend literally just had to have a surgery because she kept dropping weight. They couldn't figure out what it was, and it was this nerve that was it's like the grand mal nerve or something, and it's right there for the digestive process, and it was overreacting, so they basically had to kill that nerve so she could actually eat again, because it was just like a constant overreaction, so she just vomited. And
Yeah, I mean, our medical bills are ridiculous. I think right now we got like almost $30,000 in medical bills. You know?
yeah, oh yeah, we're about 300,000 in 13 ICU stays takes a lot out of you, even with insurance. Yeah, and lots of surgeries. But yeah, I feel it. I'll message you and send you some of the information I have on my illnesses that might help.
Yeah,
But
I mean, our medical system is screwed up. You know, it's a for-profit system,
yes,
and
Yeah.
you know, and all these other countries don't have that. They got
Nope.
free health care and you know all this kind of stuff. And I know, I mean, our country demonizes it. I mean, but it seems to work.
well, a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, you'll have to wait years for surgeries. That is a possibility, but typically when you look at people who have universal health care and access to it, they're healthier because they can go to the doctor when they need to for small things.
But besides that, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because we are waiting years for surgery
Right.
already because we don't have the money or the insurance to pay for the surgery we need. So we're literally waiting. First of all, I broke my rotator cuff a few years ago. Okay, so because of how expensive co-pays are and things like that, at first I didn't really go to the doctor because I thought, oh, I just bruised my shoulder, it will get better, I'm not going to the doctor over this because I'm not paying those prices to go here, I got bruised, right? But as months went on, I was like, I don't think this is just a bruise, I'm going to go to the doctor. It took over 2 years of going to 2 years of going to doctors, X-rays, MRIs, you name it, before the insurance would even agree to pay. And I pay a lot of money for my insurance. And it still took 2 years for me to get surgery. So what are they talking about? I live in America. It still takes years.
And most of the time when a woman goes in, it's in your head. Like, maybe
Yeah.
see a psychiatrist, go, you need to see a therapist. That's what I've been told all the time. I was told I was faking and I was a rug seeker, and that I needed to see a psychiatrist. And I actually had a broken back because I was in a car accident. I had to do a spinal fracture with a 3mm slip disc. And it took 2 months for them to finally do a CT. And they're like, holy shit, this is bad. Like,
Well, yeah, when I first started going to a doctor, the first thing she was like, I'm not giving you any pain medicine for this. And I said, I'm not asking you for pain medicine. I want x-rays and an MRI so I can get surgery. And she was like, okay, well, good, because I'm not giving you any. And I said, okay, good, because I didn't ask for any. She goes, okay, good, because I'm not giving you. And I was like, what is she doing? This is weird. Like, what are we doing here? I literally am not asking you for anything. I literally want surgery. Okay. So and anyway, she's not my doctor anymore. I hope she's somebody else's doctor. She's not my doctor anymore.
And not to be an asshole towards men, but the treatment in men is so different. And it
is.
My husband did not think that until what happened to us last summer. I was in a motorcycle accident. So 3 weeks before my motorcycle accident, my husband comes home and he's like, oh my God, I have a whole bunch of pain in my nethers. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, it hurt so bad. He felt like he was going to vomit and throw up and pass out. And like, I think you have a kidney stone. Turns out he has a kidney stone. So we go to the emergency room. They immediately take him in. They get him into a bed. They get him, they don't even do any testing. They get him hooked up. They give him Demerol. Like, they get him comfortable. And then they and they're like, oh my gosh, you have kidney stones. And then they write him a prescription for narcotics to fill. And then till he can get in with his normal doctor. 3 weeks later, I was in a motorcycle accident. I had 3 broken ribs, a detached patellar tendon, and a dislocated patella. I went in, I was told I was a faker, I was having a panic attack, and that's why I couldn't breathe, and that I was a seeker, and that I needed to leave. And I had to leave. Like, total difference. And then a week later, we went in. That's when they found out all the broken stuff, and they still did not offer pain medicine. I have a video. I asked the gentleman, I was like, if you're not going to help me, can you please discharge me so I can go home and take some Tylenol? I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. And then you hear him go, oh, you want some da-da-da-da? But yeah.
Yeah. My husband was really mad about when my rotator cuff was broken, and it was such a pain because the same thing happened to him. We were in Florida, AK, and he started passing a kidney stone. And I will DM you a picture of his fucking private room that he got in Florida with a view.
Oh my God.
For a fucking kidney stone, okay? And I couldn't get them to do a goddamn MRI so I could get surgery because, you know.
They gave him a birthing room for his kidney stone.
Yes. It was actually really funny because we rented me a room nearby because we were supposed to leave. We were supposed to be flying back home, and the kidney stone was admitted in the hospital. We had met my daughter-in-law out there for a little vacation. She's a doctor, and so she'll have like medical conferences, and she'll fly us out to wherever her medical conference is so we can hang out with her. If like my son can't go with her or whatever, so we go and hang out with her at medical conferences. So we were supposed to leave, and that's when he got that, and so we rented me a room near the hospital, but they were like, oh, there's this bed in the hospital room that you could just pull out if you want to. And I was like, okay, I'll probably just stay here because it was kind of a creepy looking place, and I was kind of scared to stay by myself. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not scared of a lot of places, but this place, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to be there alone. So I wasn't sleeping well, you know. And the last day, he was up, walking around, feeling good, and I laid down in his bed, and I just passed out. He had the most comfortable bed. I've never had a bed like that, AK, in a hospital as a woman. Never. It was so fucking comfortable. And they waited on him hand and foot, and he had a view and everything. I'm like, but it made him mad because he realized, oh my God, you do get treated differently. I have passed 2 kidney stones since then. I don't ever get admitted into a hospital. They make me, they're like, you've given birth before you can handle a kidney stone.
They're like, you're fine. We're going to pee it out.
Go walk it out. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yep.
Take some Peridium. It numbs it a little bit. That's basically what
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
for
but
sure.
to be fair, us men are babies.
Well, that's true.
Well,
No,
if you, in a side note, if you know any lawyers who do malpractice, I can't find one in the state of Alaska because last November, this will piss you guys really off, I had to go into, so from the motorcycle accident, I have hardware in my back from the car accident, and they thought the hardware had moved. So they needed to do what's called the myelogram, which is they put an epidural needle into your spine and then light you up with contrast and then send you in and out of the CT machine. But one of the side effects is it's an epidural. You can leak spinal fluid. It's pretty common. And so what happens is you need an emergency blood patch after that. So I had the myelogram, but when I was waking up in the hospital, I'm telling this hospital, like, my spine's on fire. My spine is on fire. Something's wrong. They sent me home, told me I was a faker. I ended up getting like the worst headache. Like I could not even function. I can't explain how bad this headache was. My surgeon and my primary care doctor, like, go to the emergency room. You need an emergency blood patch. I was denied care and told that I was a faker. There was nothing wrong with me, and he would not call the anesthesiologist. So I had to drive 60 miles to the next hospital and have an emergency blood patch done. But
oh my God. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks trying to, our medical system sucks already, and then as a woman it's worse. And then you know what, if you're a trans woman or a woman of color, I fucking feel so sorry for you, because fuck that, like it's even worse. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Anyway, AK, thank you for coming up. Did you have anything you wanted to ask the Resurrected Skeptic?
Yeah.
He knows me pretty well.
Yeah, I recently found out that you're a Satanist, and I did not know that. How did you take that journey, if you don't mind just recapping? I think it's fascinating.
You're catching me in the middle of eating a cracker. Hold on.
Hey, Solo,
While he's doing that, let's tap that screen. Let's get Crystal to at least 65,000 likes, and let's let her hit her gift goal. She's got the ice creams. Let's do that, friends.
Thank you.
I just like to point out that I'm on top. So, for
yes, you are.
I would like just to point out that I love sandwiches. I'm just kidding.
I'll make you a sandwich.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Unfortunately, with a good time with me really is just the sandwich. So.
Okay. I'd be like, hey, did you put pickles on it?
Of course.
I mean, spicy pickles are the best.
So who's going to
good.
ask the question? Is it going to be... Go ahead, Borealis. I'll wait and go after you.
Did you ask your question? Did he answer your question after eating the cracker?
Not yet.
Started talking. Okay.
I think he's good now.
Okay.
What did you say?
How did you get to becoming a Satanist? Were you, and because I believe you were a Christian before, correct?
Yeah, well, I was raised a Christian. At 18, it was more of like a rebellious thing. When I turned 18, I was going to do everything I could to piss off my parents, and so I joined the Church of Satan at 18, and I'm still a member, and I mean, I used to have my own grotto. It was called the Order of the Black Star, and but
cool.
I mean, Church of Satan. I mean, Satanism is more or less atheism. We just like the symbols and all that kind of stuff.
How it was described to me by one Satanist is they're like, we're spicy atheists. It's how they said what a Satanist is. And I was like, you know what, I like that.
Pretty much. Yeah, we're atheists. We just have more parts.
Solo, what do you got today? What's your question? Why are you his favorite creator? Is that the question?
Yeah. Why do you like me so much, Resurrected? Why can't you just take one day out of my DMs? Okay? A cold shower, something. Thank you for the gift.
Well, I mean, for me, it's your eyes. Your eyes get me every time.
I do have beautiful eyes. Okay, so let's get on to the...
I love you all.
The question. So, do you think that there's any value in having like a belief in God? Could there be any value in it that is helpful to society or to humanity overall?
I mean, I think religion has utility, but it depends on the person as well, because people can pervert it, and I don't think Satan or the devil exist. I mean, but Christians have a really good way of making him exist.
Yeah. But I guess a follow-up would be, so you mentioned it's the people that pervert it. So I suppose, wouldn't it be fair to say that people could pervert any worldview, including, atheism or Satanism in your manner, right? So something's always capable of being perverted. Would you say that that's correct?
Well, absolutely. I think if you're a genuinely good person, I think, you can be an atheist or a Christian or a Satanist, and, you can be a good member of society. But yeah, there's always going to be the outliers.
Yeah. So, what do you think is your main motivation for doing the kind of lives that you do that seem to be very much in contrary to people with these beliefs? What is it that you are trying to do at the end of the day?
Just have dialogue. I like to treat my channel kind of like we're sitting at the kitchen table drinking a cup of coffee, just talking about religion. I'm not trying to win the conversation. I don't want to be better than anybody, but if it turns out that way, I guess it does. But that's not my goal. Yeah. So hey, Solovino. So what about you? I mean, when you debate Christians or whatever, I mean, what is your approach?
So I'm very much like yourself in the sense that I do it for sort of a intellectual turn on. Like I really do find Socratic dialogues, philosophical dialogues very intellectually stimulating. I like, the first time that someone ever brought up, not everybody likes philosophy, and we get called Phil Bros, but that's just because people are too stupid to know that we're talking about. But the first time that someone brought up the idea that I could just be a brain in a vat, I was just fascinated by the idea. I'm fascinated by, the moral dilemma in the Euthyphro. I'm fascinated by these ways of just like thinking differently about the world and being okay with not necessarily having an answer, but always being satisfied with having a really good question and being skeptical. And so I would say at first, I was in it for like some popularity. I was in it to have to be this character Solovino and to be funny and to ridicule people for their stupid beliefs. But now these days, I don't know. I've sort of switched gears. As a matter of fact, I don't even go live that much anymore. I've been reading. So I just picked up Christ Before Jesus. I'm on chapter 2 of that. I read philosophical papers in my spare time to keep up on different ideas. And I think I just like the whole thought process about it. I don't know. That's a really long answer. It's almost like I'm the one who this Decon Q&A is about. So if you would just do me a favor and hop on down, I'll just take
By the way, he has been on my show before, and he'll be back again soon, I'm sure, but he's been the star of this show already once. Did you have any other questions you want to ask Skeptic, either one of you?
My favorite is Solo's trolling. I love the fact that he will sit there in lives for over an hour, even longer in a chat, waiting. And Solo, I love you so much for that.
It's so funny.
I do like it, but I guess at the end of the day, it's becoming one of those things, sadly, where I'm like, I don't know, I'm starting to feel like I'm a bit too old for it. Like, I do get accused a lot of being childish, like whenever they kick me off their lives. And at first it was really funny, but, I don't know. These days I'm just kind of like, there's a lot of negativity in the world, and nobody wants someone coming along just, pooping in their, fruity pebbles. So I don't know, unless the content creator is just a significant asshole. I sort of just hold back these days, and I'm like, let them have their little conversation, but I mean, I still have a couple that I haven't uploaded. I might upload them, and also me being a school teacher, if it ever got out that I did those troll videos, some of them could get me in trouble. So I've honestly been thinking about like I've been thinking about maybe just changing my profile picture and, just stop doing the trolling stuff. But I don't know. It's whatever. At the end of the day.
What do you believe or not believe, Salavina?
Oh, okay. So I'm an atheist. I mean that according to most the most typical used definition in philosophy, which is that I maintain the position that God is something that doesn't exist. So I'm not one of those absence of belief atheists. Not that I think that there's anything wrong with that. I just, when it comes to the actual position that I hold, that is the more prevalent view in the field of philosophy, that if one is an atheist, they're one that would assert that it's true that God doesn't exist. And so
Yeah, because I saw in your bio it says Jesus is Lord.
Right. So if I put deconstruction, or I used to have deconstruction and then philosophy and whatnot on there, but then people wouldn't let me up into their lives to troll. And so I had to put something that made them think, oh, this guy is cool. We can let him up and let him, bring a good word.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I used to do when I first started my channel. I didn't think about. I mean, I created my channel name, but I didn't think much about it because I knew what it meant. And then when I first started going on lives, I would just join Christian lives and that kind of stuff because I was going to debate them. And every one of them thought I was Christian, so I kind of went along with it for a long time, for about not a long time, about 3 weeks to a month, and then I was like, these people aren't reading my full screen name.
Yeah.
No. It's funny to me how Joel Reed's Bible can go up on Christian lives and they don't realize that he's not a Christian because it says Joel Reed's Bible. So they're like, oh, he reads Bible. He must be a Christian. But how do you not know who he is yet?
Yeah, Joel Reed's Bible is pretty big.
Yeah. He thinks he is. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Joel, I saw you pop in. I don't know if you're still here, but I thought I'd pick on you for a minute, okay? All right, listen, do you guys have any other questions? Because you know what time it is? You guys should stay up here. It's time. It's time for Solo's favorite game. Yes. It's time for Divine or Decline. If you want to come up and play Divine or Decline with us, the guest box is open. If you don't come up, I'm going to pull you up on stage. So you might as well just come up, okay? Because I'll just start bringing you guys up here. You have to play with us because it's fun to play.
Yeah, let's see
and
who's
all the
better
cool kids do it.
Yeah, who's better at the 50-50 game?
Yeah, let's see.
Who's really good at coming up with what sounds like a proverb should be in the Bible, and
Right.
it's like she's deceptively good at that.
So when you had Justin up here, how well did he do it, Divine and Decline?
Not great. I just had somebody get a perfect score. I want to say it was Schley. I think it was Schley. I can't remember who it was. But before that, the best person, and they weren't up on the live when they did it, was Fee. She got like 9 out of 10. Bash, I think, got 9 out of 10, but he hasn't been on my show yet. That was also in chat. Thinker did pretty good. I want to say she did like 8, but Justin, his were hard. Like I did not go on easy on him, so maybe he got 50% of them. I don't know, but we just laughed the whole time. Justin knows that I'm gonna, screw with him, so he's ready for it. He's like, I'm not gonna get any of these right. I don't care. Okay,
yeah,
you guys.
I have no idea what I'm in for. So what's
okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Here is the game, you guys. Listen. Okay. I know that subscription price is going up right now to $10 a month per creator. So you don't have to subscribe to me here anymore. But if you are a subscriber right now, you know you got the cool little stickers for the game, Divine or Decline. Go ahead and drop those in. If you're a subscriber, drop those down. If not, just say Divine or Decline when we're playing the game. I would prefer if you guys start subscribing to me over on YouTube. It's free to subscribe over there. And eventually I will be doing some members only streams over on the YouTube because of the price, how expensive they got over here. Here's the rules. I'm going to read to you.
So they're raising their prices to $10? $10
a month to be
I mean, is it like across the board? $10?
Yeah, like it costs $10 for you to subscribe to somebody now.
God damn it! I just got the top position again, and somebody came up on top of me. God.
Okay, so here's the rules. I'm gonna read.
Oh, that dirty rotten.
Solo.
Well,
okay,
he's about to resurrect here in a minute. He's about to
Yeah,
resurrect.
I know what he's doing. Oh, by the way, did you know that the rapture is back on because they weren't going by the correct calendar? Apparently, they're supposed to be going by the Julian calendar, and so now the rapture is back for October 6th through the 7th. No. Just to let you guys know.
My wedding anniversary is October 7th. That's so amazing. I have to tell you the funniest thing, AK. When we were talking about it on the 23rd, Doug and I were laughing our asses off about it. We were in the backyard. I was getting elevated. He doesn't because he can't for work. But he was walking around back there. And then he goes, I don't know what you're laughing about. What would you do right now if I just disappeared? And I laughed so loud, I think the whole neighborhood could hear me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you would be the one. No. Anyway.
So I may have just distributed random clothing throughout the town I'm in.
You are so funny.
Near
post hilarious. That is so funny. All right. We're going to play our game now. Here's the rules. I'm going to read to you a phrase. If the phrase I read to you is from the Bible, and the Bible I use is the American Standard Bible, you will say divine. That's if it's from the Bible. If, however, the phrase is from the Quran, the Book of Mormon, or I made it up, it's declined. There are no points, okay? Everybody loses this game. I'm going to start at the top and I'll work my way down to the bottom as I do the questions, and you guys just tell me divine or decline. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord and whose trust is the Lord. Solo.
Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord and whose trust is the Lord. Oh, God damn it.
I know! I knew that was going to piss you off. Hi, Robin.
Hi. It looks like I made it just in time.
Yes, you did. Hang on. Solo's coming back. I keep dropping my light. I'm sorry. Solo. Okay, now you're on top of everybody. You're the king of the hill, okay?
Yeah. Have you
Oh
all
my
read?
God. Somebody's you got on top of me now.
Have you all read?
I was gonna make a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't
have you all
get
read
it.
the story Yertle the Turtle?
The top piece of bread on the sandwich. It's just his thing.
See,
Okay.
I was gonna make a trans joke and everything. It was gonna be great. You guys are missing out.
I'm sorry.
Oh, darn it. Okay, Solo.
All right, I'm gonna say trust in the Lord. I'm gonna say decline. It sounds
okay. Decline. Robin, did you hear the phrase?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat it?
Sure. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord and whose trust is the Lord. Divine or decline?
I'm gonna decline it.
Okay, Esme.
It's just that last part that digs at me, so I'm gonna decline it.
Okay, Ashra.
I'll decline.
All right, AK.
I'm gonna be a rebel and say divine.
All right, Skeptic.
Do all the words have to be the same? Like what's in the Bible?
Yeah, it has to, but remember I'm using the American Standard Bible, so you might not be used to this translation, okay? But I do not paraphrase it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not familiar with that version, but I know that that phrase is in there. I don't know about the last part. I'm kind of with it with Granny, so I'm kind of on the teeter-totter, because it's in there, but that last part's getting me. So it has to be the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I do not paraphrase any of the Bible verses, though. So what I'm telling you is, I don't purposely take a Bible verse and then just change half of it to trick you guys, okay? I don't do that.
Okay. All right. Well, with that said, I'm going to say divine.
All right. It is divine. That's Jeremiah 17:7. All right. Number 2.
Yeah, Jeremiah 17:7-8, actually.
Okay, there you go. And when they say be just, then be just, even if it concerns a relative and the covenant of God fulfill. Solo.
Hold on, I'm just flipping my quarter.
Okay. Robin.
See, now I'm starting to really second guess myself after not getting that last one right. This is the mind games. So this could be in the Quran, this could be in the Book of Mormon, this could be from anything.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm probably gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna say divine.
Okay, Esme.
Can you repeat the phrase, please?
Sure. And when they say be just, then be just, even if it concerns a relative and the covenant of God fulfill.
Decline.
All right, Ashra.
I will use Solo's coin and also go with decline.
Okay, AK.
I'm gonna go with decline.
All right, Skeptic.
Say it one more time because I'm trying to mull it over in my head.
Okay. And when they say be just, then be just, even if it concerns a relative and the covenant of God fulfill.
Sounds like it should be in there. I'm going to say decline.
All right, that is decline. That's Quran 6:152.
Oh, I was
All right,
thinking it sounded too Mormon-y.
I was thinking it sounds so
Mormon, but no.
Yeah, I went a totally different direction. I was like, this sounds really Old Testament to me. I went a different direction. Oh my God.
All right, number 3. And the land trembled, and the mountains skipped like rams, and the little hills like lambs. Solo.
Decline because I just hate what you just read. No, I'm just gonna say.
Okay, Robin.
Sounds stupid. Jesus.
I'm getting humbled. I'm getting humbled so bad. I'm gonna say I'm gonna decline it. I'm probably gonna get humbled.
Esme.
It's probably gonna be the opposite.
Esme.
Well, I'm just gonna keep declining.
Ashra.
I also think that was a stupid verse. So I'm gonna say divine.
Okay, AK. That's a strategy.
Man, it sounds like something out of Book of Mormon so bad. But then, oh God. I'm gonna say decline.
Okay, Skeptic.
All right. Say it one more time because it sounds like it's in Psalms.
Okay, and the land trembled, and the mountains skipped like rams, and the little hills like lambs.
Yeah, that's definitely in Psalms. I can't remember where. So, Divine.
That is in Psalms. That's Psalms 114:4. 114:4, you guys. Good job. All right, number 4. And they did journey forth, bearing with them their tents and their seeds and all manner of things that they might subsist upon the way. Solo.
Decline.
All right, Robin.
Oh my god, I hope I have to get at least one of these right. Oh my god. I have to get one of them right. I'm gonna say that this one sounds divine to me.
Okay, Esme.
I'm going to agree with Robin and say divine.
Okay, Ashera.
I also think divine.
Okay, AK.
Can you read it again?
Yep. And they did journey forth, bearing with them their tents and their seeds and all manner of things that they might subsist upon the way.
Decline.
Okay, Skeptic.
Yeah, it sounds like it's in Exodus. So, Divine.
That is decline. That is the 1830 Book of Mormon. You guys tap the screen. Try to get me 20,000 more likes while we finish up this game, okay? Can we do it? I think we can. And maybe hit my gift goal because it's only 1 coin each and I only need 166 more. So if everybody did a few, we could probably make it to the ice cream cone, deal.
So you can't see my face, but my jaw's on the floor. My jaw's on the floor. I haven't gotten one of these right. Oh my god.
Listen. The game is this way because they all steal from each other, okay? That's why they all sound alike, all right?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because that sounded like Exodus, the wilderness journey.
Yeah, they steal from each other. So here we go. The fool builds his house upon shifting shadows, but the wise one sets his beams in the light of day. Solo.
Decline.
Robin.
All right, this is going to seem weird, but this seems too much like it would be in the Bible. So I'm going to decline.
All right, Esme.
Divine.
Okay, Ashera.
Decline.
Okay, AK.
Decline.
All right, Skeptic.
Say it one more time, please.
The fool builds his house upon shifting shadows, but the wise one sets his beams in the light of day.
Doesn't sound like it's all correct, so I'm going to say decline.
That is decline. That is just made up. Solo, who painted that picture of you? The likeness is uncanny, sir. Looks just like
It was a good hair day. I have them every now and then.
Wow, Leonardo da Vinci's lover is on top. Now this does change things.
Yeah.
I've been taking creatine.
All right, number 6. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. Solo.
Really, it ends with I am helped?
I'm sorry.
That's just shit. Who the fuck writes that? And I am helped. That's the best they could end that with. Say it again.
Yeah. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped.
I am helped. Hamburger helped. Decline.
Okay, Robin. This cracks me up.
Yeah, whoever wrote this, I'm going to say divine, and I'm also going to say that whoever wrote this in the past, they needed some help writing it. Because this is terrible.
Okay. Esme.
I'm with those guys. I'm with the two above me. Divine.
Okay. All right, Ashura.
Divine.
All right, AK.
Decline.
All right, Skeptic.
Well, that's in Psalms. So, yeah, divine.
It is divine, and that is in Psalms. That's 28:7. All right, number 7. And whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, well being a believer, those will enter paradise. Solo.
Decline.
All right, Robin.
Can you repeat it for me, please?
And whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, well being a believer, those will enter paradise.
This sounds like it's in the Quran. I'm gonna decline it.
Okay, Esme.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, Ashra.
Yeah, I want to decline it.
Okay, AK.
Divine.
All right, Skeptic.
Doesn't sound like it should be in the Bible, so I'm going to say decline.
It is declined. That was the Quran, Robin. Good job. That was Quran 4:124. All right, number 8.
I'm making a comeback. I'm knowing the Quran better than I am the Bible. I'm a little embarrassed. But okay.
Okay, number 8. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Solo.
Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but since it's the New American Standard, it's the beginning of knowledge. I'll wager that it's divine on this one.
Okay. Robin.
I'm gonna say divine.
All right, Esme.
That shit's in Proverbs. That's divine.
Okay, Ashura.
I recognize it too. It's divine.
AK.
Divine.
All right, Skeptic.
Yeah, Granny's right. It's in Proverbs. Divine.
That's right. It is in Proverbs. That's Proverbs 1:7. Number 9. And it came to pass that they were exceedingly sorrowful, for they had lost many of their brethren. Solo.
They were exceedingly what? Are they making up words?
Sorrowful.
Sorrowful. Okay.
Full of sorrow.
Okay. No, okay.
Sorrowful.
Okay, and then what's the rest of it?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. And it came to pass that they were exceedingly sorrowful, for they had lost many of their brethren.
Brethren. Decline.
All right, Robin.
I'm a little bit torn about this one. I so badly wish that there was like a verse before this that you could read, but I know you can't do that. I am gonna decline it because it doesn't seem like, to me, using my logic, it doesn't seem like the Yahwists will be apologetic of any of the shit that they.
Okay, all right. That's another strategy there. Esme, what do you think?
I hate that one. I don't like it. It's too vague. It could be in any one of them. It's too vague. It could be in your
If I could find Bible verses, if I could find Bible verses that said, "and they walked on green grass," I swear that's what I would put in, so it would be so vague. You know, I like
do
the
the
vague
lazy
ones,
bones
Esme.
one at some point. I love the lazy bones part. Anyways, I'm gonna say decline.
All right, Ashura.
I'll say divine.
All right, AK.
Read it again. I'm so sorry.
And it came to pass that they were exceedingly sorrowful, for they had lost many of their brethren.
Decline.
All right, Skeptic.
Decline.
That is Decline. That is from the Book of Mormon. Skeptic, have you missed any yet?
Yeah.
I think I missed one, but yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like the Book of Mormon.
I missed 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got 7 so far, and you're on. That was 9, so I've only missed 2.
I think I'm half and half at this point.
Have I gotten 3?
I haven't.
Four right?
I haven't missed any so far.
Like the brethren part is what got me, and that sounded like the Book of Mormon to me.
All right, you guys, this is...
What was the sorrowful for me? It is like sorrowful? I don't think so.
Number 10 is for all the marbles. Whoever gets this right automatically wins the game, and they get eternal life. So it's all on the line, you guys, if you want to fuck.
Ding, ding,
This
ding,
is
ding,
how
ding,
you
ding.
do it. You don't. It was a lie. You never had to have Jesus in your heart. You just have to get number 10 right on divide or decline. Here you go, you guys. Number 10. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into gloom. Solo.
Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into gloom.
Yeah, into gloom, dude.
Decline.
Okay, Robin.
I'm excited for the fish fry in hell, y'all. I'm gonna say divine.
Esme.
Can you repeat it just one more time?
Yep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into gloom.
Gloom and doom.
Yeah.
Why is God such an asshole? Let's see. That could be in Isaiah.
Hey, Chet.
Be nice, Granny. Be nice, Granny.
Well, come on. It could be in. I'm gonna say divine.
All right. Asherah.
First, I just want to say that I always have fun on these panels with you, Crystal.
Thank you.
And but like this has been the most fun group. So thanks everybody for making me laugh.
That's awesome.
I'll say divine.
All right, AK.
It's the gloom that's getting me. The gloom. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, remember which version it is too, Alaska.
That's true. And I'm not familiar with that version, unfortunately. God damn it. Can you, read it one more time?
Yeah, let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into gloom.
But gloom is also a common word, when it comes to this.
I'll just say divine.
All right, Skeptic.
It's in James. Divine.
Yes, it is. It is in James. That's James 4:9, you guys. That is divine or decline. Way to go, all of you who are going to heaven. That's amazing.
I'm gonna go get raptured.
Skeptic,
That
you
was
were
awesome.
Are you guys ready for
9
the
out of
never-ending
10.
church service?
Skeptic was 9 for 10. I was 8 for 10.
I was 10 for 10, as always.
because Crystal is perfect.
Doug just kind of mocked me. Like, what? Why is he like?
I'm still on top. So.
Yes, you are. So it's true. Hey, so Skeptic, when do you go live again?
I usually go live every day somewhere around 6 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Are you going to go live when we're done here?
No, no, because I got to go to the airport and pick up my wife. She's coming back in from Wisconsin. She went to I don't know if I told anybody, but she found out about 3 or 4 months ago that she has an older sister because she found her on 23andMe, and so she found out where she lived, and they got in contact, and so I surprised her, and I bought her, my son, and her mom 3 plane tickets.
Wow, that's so cool.
You're
that's
so
really
sweet.
amazing.
You're such a good hubby.
You're
a good hubby.
That's really cool.
I feel like I'm being.
She's
nosy,
always so
but,
sick, so she needs something to cheer her up,
I feel like I'm being nosy. Did you say she found out she had a sister that she didn't know she had?
Yeah. Her mom got pregnant when she was 16, and her mom's parents forced her to give up the baby.
Oh, okay. This all makes sense. Okay. Yeah. But that's awesome that they got reunited.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is a sister, a younger sister that she already knew she had, and they look identical, right? Like they're twins, but they're like five years apart, right? Well, her older sister looks just like my wife and her sister.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's wild. Yeah. That's really cool.
We got doppelgangers out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw them, you would see it. They're literally identical.
I love that. You guys, if you're not following the Resurrected Skeptic, you should be. Do so now. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully we could do this again in a few months. This is kind of what I do. I do Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Also, I do Non-Believers Bible Study every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Now, I'm supposed to be live pretty much all this week at 11 a.m. Pacific time, but I do have to take my car in tomorrow for an appointment, so I'm not sure. I might have to reschedule one of my lives tomorrow because I think Trust But Verify is supposed to be on Decon Q&A with CrystalJae tomorrow, but I might have to reschedule that. So just follow me. If you're not subscribed to me over on YouTube, please go do that. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers over there. I heard somebody say the other day about Sarah, like Justin or somebody goes, help Sarah get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm like, fuck that. Help me get to 1,000, okay?
Well, hey, Crystal, I was going to say, I forgot to mention, I do have a Facebook channel for the Resurrected Skeptic, and I have almost 7,000 subscribers or followers on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Do you ever go live?
Yeah, I'm getting old, but I still use Facebook.
Yeah, so I got a YouTube, a Facebook, and TikTok.
All right, awesome. So make sure you follow
where
him
are
everywhere.
we in numbers, Chris? We're at numbers 9 or 10.
We're
Wednesday.
done.
Are we done with
Wednesday?
numbers?
Oh, no. I thought you meant we're never mind. No, we're not done with numbers. We are at number 16. We're at 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how many people are in here.
Number?
Ooh,
yeah.
There's a number of us in here. Yes.
There is.
All right, you guys. Yeah. Yes, there is. Listen, make sure you follow all my panelists. Thank you, Solo, Robin, Esme, Ashra, AK, and Skeptic. Thank you all for being here. I will be live, like I said, almost all this week. I will try to be live tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to get to. But I will see you all around the meeting.